Hi, this is Joe again with another review, and for the topic of this video, we'll be doing another TV show review. Previously, I had done a review of what I think is one of the greatest sitcoms of all time, for its period at Seinfeld, which was All in the Family. And I decided to, I always wanted to do for a long time, to do one of the spin-off series. And so I'm going to do one of them now for you, or discuss it. And we'll be doing what is actually the third spin-off series, which is like 4 in total. 4 different television series are spun off from All in the Family. And it's going to be the third one, and that is All in the Archie Bunker's Place, which aired from 1979 to 1983 on CBS after a 9-year run of All in the Family. During the 9th season, it was surprisingly, nothing surprising to me, that All in the Family was renewed for a 9th season. The reason why it's surprising to me was because after the end of the 8th season, after Rob Reiner and Sonny Struthers left the series after the 8th season, so I figured, okay, this is the last episode. Because of the way it ended, I thought it was the last episode. But surprisingly, it got renewed for a 9th season, and it introduced Danielle Bissois, who played Archie and Edith's niece, Steffi, which I mentioned in that review. And after the 9th season, they decided to revamp the show and call it Archie Bunker's Place, and mostly focus on the bar. Which Archie, those who don't know the series, in season 8, on the opening episode for season 8, Archie bought Kelsey's bar. So for season 8 and of course season 9, he was running the bar already and running it and all that stuff. So when I made Archie Bunker's Place, they focused on Archie running the bar and stuff that was happening in the bar and maybe the sound of his customers. So that's what they focused on. Now during the season was actually the 10th year that Carol O'Connor and Gene Stapleton in particular were portraying these characters. And Gene Stapleton says she wanted out because she got tired of playing the part. She was getting tired of playing like this naive, dopey character, and the dingbat. She's a dingbat and Stack for Edith and all that stuff. She got tired of that stuff, and she wanted to move on. Could we move on from that character? They're playing it for 9 years. So Norman then says, "Oh, why don't you just do a couple of episodes and that'd be it?" And so during the first season of Archie Bunker's Place, Gene Stapleton was in very few episodes. I mean, I don't know how many episodes from the first season are on YouTube. I know some of them are, not all of them. You only had Edith for like maybe count on one hand of how many episodes that Edith was Gene Stapleton actually appeared in an episode. So after that season, Edith says she wanted out, so just kill off the character. Because they used to make various excuses as to why Edith was not, there. And not in the house, or not coming into the bar. And so instead of making excuses, they decided to kill the character off. So the first, after a pretty successful first year, before I go into the Edith Dies episode, Archie Bunker's Place had kind of a different tone for what All in the Family was. In terms of, he didn't have that foil because Carol O'Connor had Rob Reiner to play off of, because it was radically different opinions. Because Rob Reiner, not only on the television show, but in real life, is an extreme liberal idiot. And you had Archie, who was supposed to be considered votes Republican and supported Republican candidates, who fought Nixon, fought the war, and all that stuff. And unfortunately, he didn't really have all that much in Archie Bunker's Place. I mean, he did have one of the newer characters in the Archie Bunker's Place. He did have Maureen Blossom, who was a great character actor in various movies like Psycho, 12 Angry Men. He appeared as Murray Klein, Archie's new partner. And you also had Ann Miller, who played the chef on the show, because they expanded the bar and made a bar grill during the first season. So you had a couple of Hispanic assistant chefs or kitchen help. So you had a couple new characters that appeared on the show. So like I said, during the second season, you had Edith's wife. Edith Bunker was killed off during the first episode. And I remember the first episode very, very well. And the episode is on YouTube, but it's divided up into 2 parts. Because originally, when it originally aired, it was a full 1-hour show. And I didn't really explain how Edith died. She said that she died in her sleep, but in actuality, she actually had a stroke while she slept, and she died from the stroke. But they didn't say that she died of a stroke and had a stroke in her sleep and died peacefully. She just said, mentioned that she died in her sleep, and that was it during the episode. But I do remember it was a 1-hour episode. It was very extremely serious and extremely depressing episode. When I went through the same thing when my own mother had died. Well, she didn't die in the house; she died in the hospital. But it's almost the same thing. With a very serious tone, very few jokes or funny lines, because they had to put it in just to get a cheap laugh, because it is supposed to be a comedy. But it was really sad, and of course at the end of the episode, Archie broke down and cried, and so did Stephanie. She also broke down and cried. So now here's Archie who has to raise this kid all by himself. And of course, during the second season, that's why he had a neighbor help, as a housekeeper, to help be with the kid when he's not there at the bar, because he's up, late at night with the bar, and so nobody's home with the kid. You can't leave the kid by yourself, because Steffi was a minor. So you had that going on. Plus, also during that second season, you also introduced Steffi's grandmother, who appeared occasionally throughout the rest of this, the rest of the series. Not often, but at least twice after that I can remember. She fought Archie for custody of Steffi, because she did not want somebody who was not a blood relative raising Steffi, and of course Archie's going to be a very ignorant person, a bigot and all that stuff. So there was also, I think there was, I don't remember originally it was a 1-hour episode or not, but I do remember that episode had aired, and it's also on YouTube as well. And of course Archie won custody over Steffi, and spoiling it. But I think by the third season, you add a new character in the third season, which was Archie's niece, or another niece that Archie had from his brother, named Billy. I don't remember the actress's name who played Billy, but she was a hottie. I mean, she was a major hottie. And she was born and she stayed in Archie's house, I think, for the last 2 seasons of this series. And she thought it was pretty good, and not only was something to walk off with Steffi, somebody who was older, probably in like the 20s or maybe even 30. And she worked well with, at least on screen, she worked well with Archie, she worked well with Steffi. It's kind of like an older sister type for Steffi. And of course, during the third season, you did have an episode which, for some reason, I can't find on YouTube to save my life. The episode, original episode that I'm dying to see, because I haven't seen this episode maybe like 30 years, maybe. Which was an episode when Steffi got bat mitzvah. We had a bat mitzvah for Steffi. And for those of you who don't know, the Steffi character, played by Danielle Pasquale, who grew up to be a major hottie. She was supposed to be Jewish, even though she's related to Archie. The reason why she's Jewish because her mother was Jewish. And of course, according to Jewish law, if the mother was Jewish, so was the child. No matter how many, if the mother married out of her faith, whatever children she has, they're Jewish. So remember they had a 1 hour episode, I think it was also a 1 hour episode or two-parter with Steffi being bat mitzvah, and that's when her father, Floyd, who in season 9 of All in the Family, dumped Steffi on the bunker's house, or at the bunker house. And so after a couple of years, here comes Floyd, for the bat mitzvah, and he did, and I don't want to give it away, but I think the grandmother did appear on that episode, and they had, or Steffi's grandmother appeared in that episode, and they had a united front against Floyd. And the grandmother, or I think the grandmother gave Steffi like a money tree, a tree with money attached to it, and Floyd stole all the money from that tree in that episode. So there's one episode that I really would like to see again on YouTube. I know if the television series is on DVD or not. I know the original All in the Family show is, but I don't know if Archie Bunker's Place isn't. But like I said, there's one episode that I remember, and there was also another episode where was also very good, where the temple that Steffi attended got trashed by a bunch of anti-Semitics with her in it, with Murray, because Murray was also Jewish, and he would or his character was supposed to be Jewish, and would take Steffi to temple on Friday night and maybe even on Saturday to go to temple services. And they happened to be there when the temple was set on fire. So Archie wanted to take the kid out of the temple because of what happened during the Protector. And there was this old blind customer, and they always said they on the board, Mr. Van Vesseler. And he said the classic line to Archie. He said, well, first it came after the blacks. Since it wasn't black, it didn't speak up. Then it went after the Jews. Since it wasn't Jewish, I'm not Jewish, so it didn't speak up. Then it went after the Catholics. Well, since it wasn't Catholic, it didn't speak up. Then they came for me, and there was nobody left to speak up. And I thought, and that little saying really shook Archie, and then he decided to volunteer to help with security of the temple in the end of the episode. So that episode is also on YouTube as well. It's called Trashing of the Temple. Like I said, they had a bunch of good stories, and Archie Bunker's Place a little more of a serious tone. They didn't have all that many, like funny haha episodes on Archie Bunker's Place. They had a lot more when it was All in the Family. I can't even think of one really funny episode in Archie Bunker's Place. That's probably why it wasn't. It got decent. I think it got decent write-ups. I'm not 100% sure at the time, but it got. But it didn't get the high ratings because the tone. Because first of all, the tone was different. The Stapleton wasn't there after the first season, so you didn't have the dingbat and stifle stuff going on, and it's really really different. But I actually did kind of like that show. The only bad spin-off that came off Archie All in the Family was a show that actually was a spin-off of Archie Bunker's Place, but it was Gloria. The Sally Struthers, of course, came back after Dean Stapleton when Dean Stapleton was killed off in the series. She came back and told that Archie that was getting divorced from Michael. After they were separated, officially separated, and they're going through the process of getting divorced. And of course, they gave her a show of her own, which we'll give for Bridges Meredith of all people, playing a vet in the middle of nowhere. I think the first episode is on YouTube. I don't know about any other episodes from that particular spin-off with Gloria. But that was like, I think it was like the worst one of the bunch. In my opinion, I'm talking about the four spin-offs of Archie Bunker's Place. So actually, of course, the first spin-off was Maude, and the other one, of course, being the Jeffersons. Well, the Jeffersons was definitely the better one of the bunch. Maude didn't really, it was too young, and I don't think Maude would last all that long on television. I think the Jeffersons lasted the longest of those spin-offs, but I think the Jeffersons lasted like 10 or 11 years, something like that. And one interesting thing about Archie Bunker's Place, of course, you remember one of the most famous episodes of All in the Family was when Sammy Davis Jr. appeared in an episode during season 2 of All in the Family. Well, in Archie Bunker's Place, I'm not sure if it was the first season or the second season. I think it was the first season of Archie Bunker's Place when Sammy Davis Jr. came back and did another episode. And of course, some of the people in the bar, like Murray Klein, didn't believe it. Veronica didn't believe that Archie knew Sammy Davis. And Barney, who was there, said, "Yeah, I know he was at Archie's house. It was there when Sammy was in Archie's house. It was there." But they still didn't believe it, and then he had a call-in talk show on television, and then Sammy eventually remembered Archie, and they said, "Oh, you have a bar. If you have a chance, you can stop by. Maybe have a bite in my bar, or something, on a menu or something." And he says, "Oh, okay, I might stop by for dinner on my way to the airport, and stop by for an early dinner." He says, "Oh, okay." So of course, right now I give away what happens. Something does happen to Sammy in this episode when he's at the restaurant. But it is a good episode because Archie does get his revenge on Sammy Davis Jr. And I mean it's a good type of revenge. It's not a racial revenge or anything else, because any of you remember the episode with Sammy Davis Jr. on the Family, what Sammy did to Archie. Of course, the famous kiss scene. Well, in the end of this episode, Archie gets his revenge on Sammy by kissing him, which was kind of funny that he got his revenge on Sammy on that deal, which I thought was a really good, very funny. I mean, I didn't even remember that Sammy Davis Jr. made did an appearance on Archie Bunker's Place. So everybody remembers the episode with All in the Family, but not that one. So I know I'm on a tangent about a different direction in this video, but that's my review of Archie Bunker's Place, which is, like I said in the top, the third spin-off series of All in the Family. Please click on the video, please rate it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto my Facebook pages. Thanks for watching. Please check out my other videos and catch you next time.